Episode 9 is set to offer many different connections to not just the originals and the prequel trilogy, but also the hit animated TV series Star Wars Rebels by writer and director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, I will say the one thing that I'm really looking forward to and I'm very curious about is exactly how JJ is going to pull all of this off and exactly how he's going to connect this movie to Star Wars Rebels, the prequel trilogy, and even the originals in this film. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. However, what's really intriguing has all to do with the character of Ezra Bridger in Episode 9. Now, what's really interesting about this film, in case you guys did not know, J.J. Abrams and Dave Filoni have had discussions before in the past while they were filming Episode 9, and while, of course, The Mandalorian was being developed, everybody's talking with each other, you know, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, JJ, everybody, while all these projects are currently in development. And what's really intriguing is that there will be a lot of references to the character of Ezra Bridger once the actual Unknown Regions sequences come to light in Episode 9, offering more clarity and more substance and exactly more closure to the character of Ezra Bridger and exactly what happened after the events of Star Wars Rebels Season 4. So this movie is not only going to expand off of Star Wars Rebels Season 4 and offer some answers here and there, but it's also going to explore different references to the character of Ezra in Episode 9. Now, you guys may recall some of the descriptions a couple of weeks and months ago about Ezra's appearance in Episode 9 as well as Ahsoka Tano, and a lot of people seem to be very mixed about that on whether or not it's a good or a bad idea to actually have those two characters on the big screen making cameos, kind of like what they did with Saw Gerrera in, of course, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, a popular The Clone Wars character that was actually shown in the form of live action and in his older self. So, with Ezra Bridger having references being made in the Unknown Regions areas for Star Wars Episode 9 is going to offer some answers of the character, where he's been, and exactly what happened to him in Episode 9. And that's exactly why JJ and Dave Filoni have had discussions with each other for this movie. Now, this honestly does make a whole lot of sense, because we do know that this movie is going to offer a lot of answers to not just the prequels, the originals, and Star Wars Rebels, but also to some of the burning questions from The Force Awakens that were not answered in The Last Jedi. So that's one thing that this movie has going for it, is that it's really going to fulfill a lot of those mysteries in The Force Awakens that JJ set up that will be answered in Episode 9, but also will be answering some questions from Star Wars Rebels Season 4, and as well as borrowing ideas from that season and incorporating that into Episode 9, which brings up another discussion here on whether or not JJ is going to expand the idea of course, the worlds between worlds. We do know that there is going to be some kind of realm in this movie that will offer glimpses of the past of the originals and the prequel trilogy through the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren. So when we look at the character of Ezra Bridger, you know, we do know that a lot of people really want to see more of that character in the form of, you know, animation and in the form of live action. And that's one reason as to why a lot of people are looking forward to this movie, is because it really is going to cater to all Star Wars fans. Whether you're into books, novels, comics, video games, or the movies themselves, this movie's really going to gravitate towards all fans around the world on different mediums of the franchise, which honestly may or may not be a smart move by Disney and Lucasfilm. I will admit it's really hard to see exactly whether or not this is going to work for them and for the fans. But as far as Ezra Bridger goes and getting references to the character so far for the Unknown Regions scenes in Episode 9 does make a lot of sense right now, because it was pretty much widely assumed that that's exactly where Ezra and Thrawn headed to after the events of Season 4 in Star Wars Rebels when they enter hyperspace. So, with that being said, we can already see now why JJ was talking to Dave Filoni while Episode 9 was being filmed and while he was writing the script, in order to really keep the continuity in place, and how this film really is going to answer a lot of questions and provide a lot of revelations in this story. So what do you guys think about all of this? You know, what do you think about the character of Ezra, Ahsoka Tano having parts in Episode 9 in the form of of references and even appearances in this movie. Honestly, I think that it's really ambitious of JJ. I think it just shows how, how much he's really aiming to do in this movie in order to really satisfy the hardcore fans that really do invest a lot of their time into animated TV series, books, novels, video games, you name it, and even the EU and Legends material, which is another aspect of Star Wars lore that will be a part of this actual movie that's really going to make it feel like a success. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.